hearty hello to all the book lovers. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you about my January reads, all I read in January. January has been a very long yet busy one for me, and I was able to read only two books. One in English and one in Hindi language. हिंदी में बताऊँ हिंदी में मैंने शिखर एक जीवनी पुस्तक पढ़ी. इसका मैंने डिटेल्ड बुक रिव्यू सेपरेटली भी अपने चैनल पे डाल दिया है. मुझे बहुत टाइम से ये किताब पढ़नी थी, शायद पिछले 5-6 साल से. फाइनली मेरे हाथ में ये इसके दोनों भाग आए हैं, तो मैं फेब में इसका भाग 2 भी पढ़ रही हूँ. शेखर एक जीवनी के द्वारा लिखित एक उपन्यास है. ये एक लड़के की कहानी बताता है जिसका नाम शीर्षक से ही स्पष्ट है कि शेखर है. यह एक इंग्लिश के जॉनर के हिसाब से कमिंग ऑफ द एज नॉवल है. कमिंग ऑफ द एज नॉवल से तात्पर्य है एक ऐसी किताब, एक ऐसी कहानी जो एक मुख्य पात्र जो मुख्य पात्र की पूरे जीवन की यात्रा को चित्रित करती है, बाल अवस्था से लेकर उसकी किशोर अवस्था, उसकी युवा अवस्था तक. और यह दिखाती है कि कैसे वो पात्र धीरे धीरे अपने समाज, अपने आसपास के भूमि से प्रभावित होकर अपना एक अलग ही निर्मित करता है. तो शेखर एक जीवनी भी इसी तरह है. भाग 1 जो मैंने अभी जनवरी में पढ़ा, उसमें शेखर के बचपन से लेकर उसके किशोर अवस्था और फिर उसकी युवा अवस्था तक की कहानी हमें बताई गई है. इसमें दिखाया गया है कि कैसे शेखर जब बच्चा होता है वो बहुत जिज्ञासु होता है, उसके मन में बहुत प्रश्न होते हैं, लेकिन या तो उसे सही उत्तर नहीं मिलते, या फिर जो मिलते हैं वो विश्वास के लायक नहीं होते. वह बाकी बच्चों से थोड़ा जुदा है और उसका जीवन का एक ही लक्ष्य है, सत्य की खोज, जो कि बच्चों में थोड़ी असामान्य सी बात जान पड़ती है. इसी तरह उसका किशोर अवस्था में उसके अंदर जो कौतूहल का एक सैलाब आया हुआ है, वो भी इसमें चित्रित किया गया है. चूंकि मैं इसका एक सेपरेट बुक रिव्यू करने वाली हूँ, तो कर चुकी हूँ, तो इसीलिए मैं इसमें और डिटेल में नहीं बता रही हूँ इस उपन्यास के बारे में. लेकिन हाँ, ये काफ़ी अच्छा उपन्यास रहा है. मैं अभी भाग 2 और पढ़ना चाहती हूँ, तभी मैं कोई कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क दे पाऊंगी. लेकिन अंकित जी ने भी ये स्पष्ट किया है कि इसे आप सेपरेटली भी पढ़ सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि दोनों ही पढ़ने हैं. ये उपन्यास अच्छा रहा है, बट फिर भी मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे कुछ बाकी है, कुछ और जानना बाकी है. इसीलिए मुझे लग रहा है कि शायद मेरे मन में भी जो एक कौतूहल जाग गया है पार्ट 1 को पढ़ के, वो शायद दूसरे भाग को पढ़ने के बाद ही शांत हो पाए. लेकिन अच्छी किताब है, आपको पकड़े रखती है, आपको कुछ-कुछ आपको बहुत रिलेटेबल लगेगी, और आप भी अपने शेखर से इस किताब को पढ़ते हुए मिल पाएँगे. इसके अलावा दूसरी किताब जो मैंने पढ़ी है, वो इंग्लिश में है, एंड इट्स टाइटल इज़ अ रूम ऑफ अनसिजोन, रिटन बाय वर्जीनिया वुल्फ. This book too was in my TBR for the longest time, and I think I've been wanting to read this book since 2018 or 19 something, and I started reading it once, but due to my exam priorities and other things, I just ditched it midway, and I think I was not even ready for this book at that time. So कहते हैं ना कि हर किताब आपके जीवन में एक समय लिखवा के आती है, तो शायद इसी टाइम पे मुझे ये किताब पढ़ना चाहिए भी थी, और आई थिंक मेरी लाइफ से भी रेजोनेट काफ़ी हुई. सो या, returning back to the book review, Naval's A Room of One's Own is a non-fiction read. First of all, it is not a novel or anything. It is just Virginia Woolf's own contemplation on a subject that relates to women empowerment, how women contribute to literature, and all these things. But she contemplates all these thoughts throughout the book under one title only, and that is Women and Fiction. Actually, uh, how this actually there's a story how behind how this book originated also. Virginia Woolf has to submit some thesis or some article or something on this topic, women in fiction, and she contemplates and does her research in order to formulate substantial thoughts to present in that written piece. And during that uh, research period of hers, she figures out that in libraries, first of all, there are very strict restrictions for women in libraries. She is talking about her own time, obviously, and the time before her. Not we are not talking about 21st century for sure, obviously. So she explains how a woman has to have a male partner or permission from a male figure in her life, uh, or has to have a male guardian in order to get the permission to enter into the library. And this seems ridiculous in today's time, but yeah, we have reached here only after facing those times. And she gets entry into the library, she figures out that there are not much books written by women for sure. There are very less number of books in libraries written by women. And if there are, there are just a couple of names which you can count on your fingertips also. And when she looks into the fiction category or plays, or figures out that the pioneering figure was always a male. For example, Chaucer, Shakespeare, or even in poetry section, Shelley, Keats, Byron, all these are male figures. So she contemplates and questions that why is that we don't see any women creating such pieces. We don't see any women creating stories or writing novels or poetry. And she figures out that first of all, a major reason for this is women don't have access to literacy. So how would they be able to write, first of all? And if they have the privilege of learning the language or writing, then they don't actually have time for their own activities. And she, throughout this book, she also tells how, in order to write a literary piece, be it a story or novel or a little poem also, you need to have some thoughts on the subject. But in order to create those thoughts also, you will have to have your own time. But women are because of the society, are loaded with works. They are doing something or the other all the time. And even if they are alone, in their free time also, they are doing other things. For example, crocheting or stitching, embroidery or something else. So basically, a pen is never given to women. And even if some women try to write something, for example, she takes example of Charlotte Bronte sisters, and other women literary figures. She finds some fault in their writing also, and that fault is that their writing is not continuous. She sees a flaw in the flow of the writing, and she contemplates why that such thing could have happened, and she realizes that that might be because of the interrupted schedule of their life. They don't have their personal time, they don't have their personal space also. So even if they must be writing something, there must be some interruption from something or the other, or they must be conscious, they might have been conscious of people surrounding her, because they don't have their own room, they don't have their own space. She also recognizes some fault in women's writing also. Sometimes even women are rewriting on their own, but their perspective, their thoughts are very patriarchal in nature. And why is that so? Because you are made to think in a certain way by your society. Mindsets is formulated on the standard which your surroundings provide you. And apart from it, even if you have your own thoughts and everything, you are financially dependent on males only. So even if you have very opinionated personality, you are not comfortable expressing it, because you know what blunder it can create. Because in order to survive in life or society, you need to have money. And in a time when women are not even given permission to study or to enter the libraries, how would they be earning their own livelihood? This is a wonderful read, but a bit heavy read. You need to give it time, and that's why I took my sweet time. I took 1 month, 31 days or more to finish it. It is not a fun read, but definitely a thought-provoking read. She points out three major points for women empowerment, and yes, this comes under the category of feminist literature only, for sure, no doubt about it. And she points out that in order for a woman, in order to have her own life on her own terms, she needs to have her own money, she needs to have her own space, and apart from it, she needs to have experiences of this world. You can't write anything or you can't produce anything substantial or beneficial only by sitting in your room. You need to have some experiences of the world, which women don't get the chance of attaining very often. For example, she gives example of male poets. For example, Keats, Byron, Shelley, or all these romantic poets also, they used to write poetry based on nature. And if women are not getting the chance of leaving their room, how would they be able to experience different things? And if they are not experiencing different things, how would they be able to express those things? So basically, she tells that women need to have their own money, their own space, but they need to have their own experiences also. Formulate your own thoughts with your own experience things, take risk in life, and then make your own opinion. And yes, it was a good read. I'm happy that I fulfilled my goal in my TBR after long. I think this is the best time. So मुझे कोई regret नहीं है, मुझे इतना टाइम लगे इसे पढ़ने में, इतने सालों बाद मैंने इसे पढ़ा. I think मैं भी सही स्टेज में हूँ इसे पढ़ने के लिए personally भी. So yes, it was a good read. Every person should read it, be it male or female. It is a thought-provoking read, and yes, it provides some fodder to think upon for sure. So यही थी मेरी जनवरी का रीडिंग रैप अप. आई रेड 2 books and it was a good read. I'm happy and satisfied. Yes, मैं चाहती हूँ बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ना, but नहीं हुआ. तो कोई ठीक है, कोई नहीं. If you have also read any book in January, do let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel and like it. I happy reading.